If you take the Pina Colada, which obviously is already an awesome drink, sub out the rum, add green chartreuse to it, which in itself is very delicious. You get a drink called a Pina Verde, or the Greenia Colada, as some people have called it, which, as expected, is a very tasty drink. Today, we're going to take that one step further, introducing matcha to the drink to bring really nice savoury and umami notes, which complement the herbal notes of the chartreuse, and then the tropical fruit notes of the Pina Colada at the base of the drink. On paper, you could argue that this is a complete drink, with, for me, the perfect balance of acidity, sweetness, bitterness, salt, umami, and the most amazing texture. This drink's easily one of my favourite ever summery creations, and I'm calling it the Matcha Colada Verde. Welcome back to another video in Matcha Month, everybody. This month, I'm really excited to be sharing with you lots of creations, all of which feature in matcha, and this one is a perfect summery drink, something I'm really excited to share with you. The Pina Verde was created by Eric Castro, and many people consider this a modern classic cocktail, which I agree with, and it just brings something slightly different to the classic Pina Colada that we all know and love. The green chartreuse in a Pina Verde really takes the Pina Colada to a new place, and I think the matcha takes it somewhere completely different again, ticking so many of those taste elements and also that amazing texture that I talked about a second ago. Some people call drinks that hit these multiple taste elements, so some combination of acidity, sweetness, bitterness, salt, and/or umami, uber drinks. And I think this approach is really powerful, something I always have in mind when I'm creating drinks, because it can just make the drinks really complete and just really delicious. So if we take this analogy, apply it to food, a lot of people attribute the success of ketchup to this combination of taste elements. Obviously, we've got acidity in there, sweetness, not so much bitterness, but salt and umami, and a lot of people love ketchup. So hopefully, if you use this technique when you create drinks, again, a lot of people are gonna really enjoy them. And we mustn't forget texture. Texture is really critical to making any drink delicious. The Matcha Colada Verde does have quite a few ingredients, but don't be put off by these. They're all very affordable, broadly very readily available, apart from the chartreuse, potentially, depending on where you are in the world. And this is totally worth the effort, and one that's actually quite simple to build. So we're gonna be shaking this with a little bit of crushed ice today, but if you don't want to do this, you can just blend it all together, get a slightly different texture. So don't be put off by a few different ingredients. It's worth it, it's fantastic, and today I'm gonna show you how to make it. So ingredients-wise, we're gonna need some matcha, of course, it's a Matcha Colada Verde. We're gonna need a good quality white rum. We're gonna go green chartreuse, coconut syrup, bring that really nice tropical flavor, pineapple juice, either freshly juiced or good quality store-bought. We're gonna need Oatly single creamy oat, which is my secret weapon in this drink. Gives it that really amazing texture, but also the drink's vegan friendly. And then a couple of seasonings, acid booster, which I've talked about in the past, and then Saline Solution, salt and water, which just brings all these really big flavors together to make them sing and pop and harmonize to give really, really good results. I'm gonna be shaking the drink today, but if you're making this in a blender, just follow exactly the same recipe. So first of all, and I will say, there's a lot of very simple numbers in here, a lot of 30s and 60s, so 1s and 2s when it comes to ounces, 30 mils of good quality white rum, 30 mils again, or 1 ounce of green chartreuse. But if this isn't your cup of tea, you can go for yellow chartreuse, which is a little bit milder. I find it has a little bit less of that herbal intensity, but I think this is fine in here. It's a big old flavor to stand up to the other big flavors in the drink. Again, 30 mils coconut syrup, and it really needs to be good quality coconut syrup here. I'm going with Monin, which gives loads of that delicious quality coconutty flavor. Then we're gonna move into 60 ml territories, 60 mils of good quality pineapple juice. If you want to freshly juice this, it'll probably give you the best results, but I'm using store-bought and this still works really well. And then my secret weapon, I'm going with 60 mils of Oatly single creamy oat. And if you're not familiar with this, this is an amazing product. You can use it in place of single cream in all manner of recipes, but if you wanted to go for a slightly thicker texture, you could also go for the Oatly whippable creamy oat. And if you wanted it to be a little bit lighter, you could go with the Oatly Barista Edition, which is gonna have less of that richness, but really let the flavors come through very clearly. I really like the single creamy oat in this drink. I think it's a really nice middle ground, give an amazing texture, allowing plenty of room for the flavors to come through. And the reason I go with this, paired with a good quality coconut syrup, rather than using coconut cream or coconut milk, is it gives me much more control over the texture of the drink, the flavor of the drink and also the sweetness of the drink. Whereas if you're using coconut milk or coconut cream, these vary wildly from brand to brand, country to country, and you get different amounts of coconut flavor, different levels of sweetness, different textures, and I just find it's quite difficult to work with. This makes the drink vegan friendly, I think perfectly balanced, so it's a really, really good option in this drink. Oatly are actually this video's amazing sponsor, so big thank you to Oatly for sponsoring the video. Check out the website in the description below. And now we can finish off our Matcha Colada Verde with two very simple but very powerful seasonings. First of all, 2 grams of acid booster, which I've talked about in the past. Brings really nice acidity to the drink without adding any flavor. I'll put a video above if you're not sure what this is. And then 2 grams, which is double the amount I usually do, of Saline Solution. Again, we've got big old flavors in here, and this just brings them all together really, really nicely. Before we add the ice to this, when obviously the clock starts ticking, we're just gonna leave this to one side while we prepare our matcha. Go with 3 grams of matcha to 30 grams of cold water. I'm gonna start by sieving this through, but if you're blending this, obviously you don't need to worry about this. Just add the matcha straight into the blender and you can whiz it straight up with your ice. I'm gonna give this a quick whisk in a traditional style, just to fully foam it up and get that nice fluffy texture. And if you want to learn more about matcha, you can watch this video, which is a beginner's guide to matcha, making things really simple and sharing everything I've learned over the last couple of months, trying to learn everything I can about matcha, which has been very enlightening, very inspiring, and has led to some drinks like this one. Just gonna add a couple of scoops of crushed ice into our tin. Give this a very quick shake, just for a couple of seconds to mix it all together and foam it up slightly. No more than 5 seconds. Just gonna dump that into our nicely chilled glass. Top it up with a bit more crushed ice. Liven up our matcha one more time. And then I actually like to transfer this into a little jar just to make it a little bit easier to pour. And we can just layer that very carefully on top of the drink. Very beautiful. Garnish with a pineapple wedge and a good sprig of mint. Serve it with a straw, and there you have the Matcha Colada Verde. So I don't know about you guys, but I think that looks pretty epic. What you can do here is take a little sip of it beforehand so you've got the different layers of flavor, or you can mix it together to combine all the flavors, which I think is the best way to do it. Giving this one a little try. I've been thinking about making this drink ever since I designed it. I think the mint actually does a really good job here. Really brings out those herbal notes, brings through the matcha, which is a very clear flavor. When we go back to what I was saying earlier about Uber drinks, we've got sweetness coming from the syrup, from the chartreuse. We've got acidity coming from the acid booster. We've got bitterness in a kind of positive and balanced way coming from the matcha. We've got salt from the Saline Solution, which is salt dissolved into water. Again, with the matcha, we've got umami coming through, making it incredibly moreish. I just want to drink the whole thing. And then we've got that amazing texture coming from the single creamy oat from Oatly, really bringing it all together. It's unmistakably a pina colada, but there's just so much more going on. And I am very happy with this, the Matcha Colada Verde. If you're blending this drink, just whack it all in the blender together, whiz it up with between 60 and 120 grams of ice. 60 will be a little bit thinner, a little bit closer to this in texture. 120 is going to be more of your classic frozen cocktail, a little bit thicker, a bit more of a slushy texture. But whichever one you go for, the texture is really fantastic, really creamy, brought together with the amazing Oatly single creamy oat, and I couldn't be happier with this drink. So I really hope you give it a try. I need to stop drinking this. I'll put more videos for you to watch on screen here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this. Thanks to you guys for watching. Thanks to Oatly for sponsoring, and enjoy the Matcha Colada Verde, just like I keep doing. Cheers.